Facebook and Twitter as well. It's very good, they work well. So next up is the 1923 Nobel Prize winner eventually married a woman less than half his age, but only after being refused 4 times by his childhood sweetheart, and then also being knocked back by her teenage daughter. Reports that he had monkey gland implants are unconfirmed, but evidence may be available in one of his later, more obscure poems, the haunting, elegiac "Pass me a banana, darling, I can feel a sonnet coming on." Ladies and gentlemen, get to your feet and fall to your knees for the incomparable, the irrepressible, the deceased William Butler Yeats.
Yeah, tell you something, she was gorgeous.
Which one?
All of them. Judges, 23, Nobel Prize winner, got me. All out of the profession was okay. A lot of people, if you ask them, will say, Yeats, yeah, he was that Irish poet, and that would be right, if you ignore the fact of his birth just outside Glasgow in 1865. That allows me to do 2 things. I can give you his poetry in the authentic voice and accent as it should be heard. Also allows me to tell you about his early school days as a great supporter of the then very new football team, Glasgow Celtic FC. Just before the Yeats family packed their bags and sailed to the old country, the Supporters Club organised a competition for the local school children to compose the first ever Scottish football chant. Yeats entered the competition. Yeats won the competition.
Do it!
I wasn't going to, Tim. Shall I?
Yeah. Do it, yeah!
Okay, I think I can remember it all. It was beautiful in its simplicity, and that echoes much of his more mature work. It was profound, it was moving, it was a welcome to the visiting fans. It was used for the first time in a Scottish Cup match against 3rd Lanark, now defunct, at Parkhead, and it went like this. It was one beautiful line. You're going home in a fucking ambulance! Check it out. You won't find it in Wikipedia though. You need to do proper research to get that. Just going to do 2 very short pieces to begin with. When you are old and grey and full of sleep, young Stan, and nodding by the fire, take down that book and slowly read, and dream of the soft look your eyes had once, and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace, and loved your beauty with a love false and true. But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you, and loved the sorrows of your changing face, and bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. If Yeats had written this piece last week, it could not have had more relevance. Ladies and gentlemen, you probably know it as well as I do. This is the second coming. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart. The centre cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, and the worst are full of a passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming, hardly are the words out when a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere in the sands of the desert, a shape with lion body and the head of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun is moving its slow thighs, while all about it, in real shadows of the indignant desert birds, the darkness drops again. But now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle, and what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born. Thank you. Thank you.